We've talked with leaders, contactees, newbies, and veterans of ET contact work, and a lot of them say the same thing. Sometimes it just gets downright cold, and here we will tell you how to beat the cold.
In today's episode, we're going to discuss weather, how to layer, fire, and an awesome life hack for staying warm. A really important tip is to look up the weather before you go out. This means looking at the nighttime lows, and sometimes they'll say, oh, it's going to be actually about 60, but really when you look at it, it's going to be maybe in the just high 50s. So it's important to know, so that way you know how many layers you should be bringing.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to look up the weather. You should just have an app already installed on your phone, or just go to Google and type in the city that you'll be heading to, or your own city if you're just going to be staying in there. And like she was saying, specifically focus on the lows for the evening, because that's most likely what you'll be encountering.
And also, don't forget to look up the weather even during the summer months. While the days may be hot, the nights may be cold.
Yeah.
So next we would like to talk about fires. Fire is completely your choice, but please be mindful of the laws and regulations in the area that you are or where you will be going.
Absolutely. Oftentimes, at least here in California, you need a fire permit. And I don't know, it's just fires aren't something that I've seen typical CE5 outings use. Fires are bright, and they do deteriorate your night vision constantly. So it's not something that I particularly recommend.
I still he and I both share kind of different views. I think fires are really fine. They, to me, add a really inviting atmosphere. And if I were an ET, I'd like to go to the inviting atmosphere where the people are a little more jolly, probably because they're more warm, but making it more of a social event. We don't do strictly CE5. Each outing is very different. So, some outings, we're more serious and really focused, meditations. And there are other times where it's more social, let's sing some songs or build a fire. So it really depends on what kind of atmosphere you would like to create. And as far as the burning permits go, you can check in with your local fire station or call the local fire station of where you will be heading to see if there are any fire regulations going on at that time.
Or ranger stations. They're a great source for information. Just find your local ranger station. And she's right about our CE5 outings. We keep them organic. It's something that we don't necessarily plan beforehand, and we go with the flow once we're out there, because sometimes it does call for a more serious, quiet, meditative state, and sometimes it calls for a more relaxed, social state. It just kind of depends on what you're feeling when you're out there.
And again, you can always, when you're trying to decide, put yourself in the shoes of the beings that want to come visit. What kind of environment would you be willing to visit for your first time coming to another planet or coming interdimensionally? These are all options and things that we do consider.
And sometimes we'll even bring an extra chair, just an empty vacant chair in case, our friends want to sit with us.
Think of this as if you're inviting guests. What would you have for your guests? And also in terms of the night vision, if you're meant to see it, you'll see it whether there's a fire or not. To be perfectly honest, they'll make themselves known. If they go by and your night vision isn't so great, they'll go by again, or brighter. If they have that intention for you to see it, you will see it whether there's a fire or not.
Right, and on the flip side, there is, other anomalous structures that aren't necessarily connecting with you or wanting to connect with you, or even know that you're trying to connect with them. There are anomalous human craft out there. We know it's out there. We've seen it. We've seen plenty of evidence that it is both personal and researched. So if you do have a fire, then you're probably going to miss that, because they're not trying to show themselves to you. we've seen the TR3B, and let's say we had a big old fire, probably wouldn't have seen it because it's hard to see those stars when you've had so much light come in to your retinas.
Play with it and just try things out. Try without fires and try with a couple fires and see, how it feels. Do you feel you do see less or not?
Ultimately, it's going to be your call. The one suggestion I think we can both agree on is be safe and make sure that fire is dead out before you leave. Good ways to do that: cover it with dirt, douse it with water, make sure that there is nothing, not even an ember left, because forest fires are far too serious.
But on the measure of safety, the last thing I would like to say is if you are absolutely freezing and your limbs are going numb, please, if it is legal and in the right area, either go home.
Yeah, or break camp or make that fire.
Yeah, so, whatever is safe and whatever is legal, please take care of yourselves first.
Wear this. Not this. Yes, this. No, not that. Warm ambassadors. Freezing ambassadors. Right now, we're going to help you avoid the pitfalls of wearing the wrong clothing for CE5 nights. We've done it a few times. We've had friends who've certainly done it. So we will show you step by step how to layer your clothing appropriately. And it's important to layer because when you're out there, sometimes the temperature changes, and we do feel that it's ET presence. I mean, we were on top of Shasta, not on top of Shasta, we were very, very close. And we had snow around us. It was a cold night. We were bundled up. And then out of nowhere, it just suddenly gets warm. We actually had to take layers off. So that's one of the important reasons to layer, because it is common for the atmosphere to change around you. This is the first layer. You're gonna want long john bottoms and long john tops if you have them. If you don't, then put on something that is more form-fitting and tight and long sleeve as your first layer.
Such as wool. Wool socks are really useful and important.
If your skin is sensitive to wool, then I would recommend merino wool, which sensitive people can wear. And your second layer is going to be something like a nice sweatshirt and pants that are relaxed fit, so that way you can easily wear your long johns underneath them.
I also, if you don't have, you can wear a sweatshirt or a sweater. A sweatshirt's nice because you have that extra hood, and then that way you have several layers on your head as well. I like to wear fleece pajamas because I find them to be really warm. Just something that you think will add that extra layer is really important, whatever it is.
Now for the main layer, you're gonna want something, you could get something rather fancy like this, a full piece snowsuit, which I was fortunate enough to get at an estate sale. You can find great deals out there on like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, thrift stores, estate sales. And another thing is your footwear. You're gonna be out at night walking around in potentially the wilderness, so there's gonna be stuff underneath you that you're not gonna see. So I recommend getting boots that are above your ankle to help with stability and to keep from twisting your ankle too bad.
Yeah, you definitely want a good sturdy shoe, just, for whatever, like you said, for whatever you may step on. And for me, I am wearing, kind of hard to see with all black, but I am wearing the suspender kind, and just snow pants with a snow jacket. And again, all these layers just really, really matter. One of the big things, I used to constantly wear just jeans, and I froze. I froze so bad. So I highly recommend these layers really save it, because when you're out there, you want to be able, being comfortable is key. The longer you're comfortable, the longer you can stay and enjoy the company of those who come to visit you.
And the easier it is to get into a meditative space too.
Absolutely, that comfort. You need to be able to get down just like you said. So this is a really good way to do that.
Yeah.
The last layer are the accessories, and there are a ton to choose from. Certainly gloves are really important, a beanie, like the beanie, a scarf. I'm wearing an infinity scarf that you can, twist over and have multiple layers. Ian is wearing a classic scarf that you tuck into your jacket when you can. And one of the important things, and this certainly happened to me until I begged Ian for a pair, is that we would be loaded up with all our excellent layers and we would be warm, but I would still be freezing. And so I asked Ian, why am I still freezing? And I looked down at his big old feet and he had overshoes. And these overshoes help keep your feet an extra 20 to 30 degrees warmer than just having your regular hiking shoes on. So one night I was freezing and I'm like, please let me wear your overshoes. So I put his double-sized overshoes on my feet and suddenly I was drastically warm, and that really helped for me personally, I think for Ian as well, to really complete the ensemble to being actually comfortably warm.
Yeah, one of the first places that people who are lost in the snow get frostbite are their toes. Honestly, hiking shoes just aren't enough when you're out there during CE5 in the middle of the night. It's winter time potentially. We do it every season, all seasons long. And the overshoes are just big boots that go over your current boots. And like she said, gives you an extra at least 20 degrees to your feet.
And
makes
for
a
me,
difference.
it has made all the difference. And now I can stay out for hours more. I mean, this extends drastically your comfort level and the length of time that you can stay out.
Yeah, obviously all accessories are optional. I love having a beanie, absolutely. I actually never wear gloves because oftentimes I am fiddling with devices. Yeah, so like the smartphone, I need my finger pads to be able to do that. So I just stick them in my pockets when I'm relaxing in the chair and looking up at the sky or the horizon. And
and again with warmth, blankets.
Yeah.
We will be under blankets, and I don't recommend earmuffs. I mean, if you have really sensitive ears, certainly please wear them. But what I have found is that some groups and interdimensionals interact auditorily.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he hasn't worn them, but there were times when even just like my beanie covering my ears, he would hear things that we wouldn't hear. And so we'd have to be like, huh? It's just food for thought. These are all options, and we want to make sure that everyone knows what all those options are.
Yeah.
So, if you don't have all of those layers, there is still another hack for you. It is called the bag and bottle hack. You can take a sleeping bag. We still highly recommend a beanie and water bottles.
Oh yeah.
These have been amazing.
Yeah, they really have been. You'd be surprised at just how much this can keep you warm inside your sleeping bag. You just fill it with boiling hot water, cap that baby off, and it stays hot for hours.
Absolutely. So these are highly recommended, and these will definitely also really help keep you warm. I still recommend long pants, whatever you have, and a long sleeve shirt. Do what you can, but this will definitely go a really long way to make sure that you are comfortable.
Yep, I'm a big fan of this giant one because it also comes with this, what are these called, a sleeve?
Oh, I love that one.
But then you can put your hands in this pocket, and that's really nice.
No, it's funny. It is so nice. What I particularly like about the really big one is that it fits the size of your torso a lot better than the smaller ones.
And that's where you're going to want to keep the bottle, is on your torso, in your center, so that way when your blood is circulating through, you're keeping your most vital organs nice and warm, and it will radiate out to your limbs as well.
Absolutely.